What is good, everybody? It is your boy Super Saiyan Cat back with some more Dragon Fighterz news for you guys. Now, last video I discussed all the character breakdown, like this is the character rankings that they had for us, basically showing how their power, speed, technique, reach, and energy is, and the ease of use for the characters. That was last video. If you guys did not see that video, I'll have it linked down below in the description for you guys. But today we're going to be discussing some new news regarding the character roster, the amount of arenas in the game, and some other special things that will be introduced, like special voices that you have not seen at E3, like special things that will go probably between characters like Gohan and Piccolo. Like when you switch them out, they'll say something special to each other, like Gohan, I'm about to, I don't know what the hell they're going to say. But we're going to get into all this news today, guys. I'm going to try and keep you guys as updated as possible when it comes to this game. And, of course, the website will be down below in the description if you guys want to check it out for yourself. But now let's get into the new Dragon Fighterz news. Alright, guys, we're going to get started talking off with the character roster. Now, part of this is theory, like the person who wrote this article put in some of his own theories as to what we will see. But as you guys see at the bottom right there, that part of the character roster is what is on the Dragon Fighterz website, and we're going to get into why that is most likely the amount of characters that we will have. Now, do not be disappointed at that, because the game is still going to be good, and there's still most likely going to be a lot of variations of these characters, as you guys will see later on in the video. But let's get it started with this. It says, with Bandai Namco's latest website update for their upcoming game Dragon Ball Fighterz, many fans, including us, have been speculating about the number of characters of the game. While this is a rough estimate based on how the website has laid out character slots, as well as Arc System Works' previous games, we estimate that the game will roughly have 17 or 18 characters, including DLC characters, and here's why. If you take a look at the website's character page, you'll see that Piccolo starts a new row, as you guys see at the bottom. Instead of putting it next to Krillin's character slot, granted it just should be a design choice, but considering the fact that this isn't your average Dragon Ball game with over 100 characters, it could mean that the roster is going to be small, especially given Arc System Works' track record. I took the liberty of completing character select images based on current layout, giving us a total of 17 characters. I also believe that 18 characters could be possible if the rows are evened out. They place an additional character next to Krillin. For all we know, once they exceed 17 confirmed characters, the roster layout page could change, but for now we'll stick to the current display. And as you see, this is the current display that you guys can see on the Dragon Ball Fighterz website. And I really believe this guy based off what we're about to get into right now. But again, man, this guy makes a complete sense, so don't get discouraged yet. But again, this guy is making a ton of sense, as you guys are about to see. Okay, now moving on with this article, he continues to say, now let's dig a little deeper into the details of a character page. And this is where he starts to make a lot of sense, showing that there may be only 17 roster spots, but there's going to be a variation of all these characters. For the most part, some of the characters, there'll be multiple variations of them. Now, he says, when viewing the file names on the website, you'll notice that some characters have a suffix on their names. For example, Goku and Vegeta have an SS. Obviously that stands for Super Saiyan, and as you see, Trunks does not have an SS, and Gohan has a young next to him. Trunks does not have an SS, meaning that's probably the only variation of Trunks in the game. But on the other hand, Goku and Vegeta, they have an SS next to their name, so that may mean that there are other variations of these characters as well, like base form Vegeta, base form Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta. I don't think Super Saiyan 3 Goku will be a thing, considering the fact that that's part of like an ultimate form when he goes Super Saiyan 3, and who knows, we may even see Super Saiyan Blue as well for both of these characters, considering the fact that Frieza is getting golden form. So now let's continue on with the article, and it says, seems to refer to their Super Saiyan forms, while Trunks is just Trunks, like I just said. For some reason, Gohan has a Y, which could imply young, and Majin Buu has a Z, which I doubt stands for Dragon Ball Z. While on the subject of Buu, Z suffix could hint that we're getting either Kid Buu or Super Buu down the line. My guess is more on Kid Buu due to him being more popular form of the character. But that all makes complete sense. Those are the only 4 characters with suffixes next to their name, which means that we could get multiple variations of these characters. We could get an adult Gohan as well, or maybe even a kid Gohan in there as well. Same goes with Vegeta, Goku, and Majin Buu. We could see Kid Buu or Super Buu also be added into the game. Now let's continue on with the article. And he says, while I doubt they will add Kid Gohan, we can probably safely say that Mystic Gohan, like I just said, will make an appearance in the game. As for Goku, considering that there's an SSJ3 transformation already part of this, I doubt that SSJ3 Goku will be added as a separate character. So the more obvious would be Super Saiyan Blue forms for both Goku and Vegeta, or even the regular base forms. Like I said, we'll see. But or we could get a left field pick like Kid Goku character, as Shonen Games would love to see in action. His file name could be similar to Gohan's, that being Goku Y. Like I said, there's going to be multiple variations most likely of these characters. While we don't know for sure what the characters will be added into the game, the suffixes in the file names definitely seem to give indication that there will be various versions of certain characters. If it wasn't so, then character file names like Goku, Vegeta would not be labeled, or would be labeled the same way as Trunks. And guys, I completely agree with this right here, because think about it. 17 characters may not be that much, but if we get multiple variations of these characters, that is definitely a bonus, because of the simple fact it could be just like how Xenoverse has variations of Goku, basically has multiple variations of all the characters in the game. But in this game, it would actually change how you start out the fight, whether it be Super Saiyan Blue, base form, or even potentially Kid Goku like this guy said. Also with Gohan, we could see Mystic Gohan, Kid Gohan, things like that, and the same goes for Boo. Now this brings us to the last piece of news that I got from Shonen Games, and that regards the arenas and special character voices when you team up with certain characters. Okay, right here we got basically a conversation between the writer of this article and one of the developers of from Arc System Works that is working on Dragon Ball Z. I believe he may even be the main developer. I don't know for sure though. But he says this wasn't shown at E3, but when switching from one character to another, you may hear special voice lines that are specific to that pair. There are also voice lines that are specific to your opponent as well. Now that's just some minor news. That's something that was not shown at E3 at all. But again, that's just some minor news, and I want to keep you guys as updated as possible with the news regarding everything with this game, because I feel this game is just going to be absolutely amazing. Now, the dude asks, so far you've only shown Namek and Tenkaichi stage, right? And he says, in terms of stages, we are planning to have over 10. We'll show off more of them as we continue development. And then he asks again, I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more about that. Lately, when you think about fighting games, esports begins to enter the conversation. Have you ever thought of esports appeal as you develop? And he says, of course. It's something that we consider, but when you think of how widespread appeal of Dragon Ball is, we also think of the casual fighting game players. That's something major, because a lot of people who play Xenoverse and are good at Xenoverse say they really don't think that they'll be good at Dragon Fighters because they're not much of 2D game players. But as we continue on with this article, you'll see that he's trying to bridge the gap between casual and competitive players as well. Let's continue on though. And he says, conversely, fighting games traditional have more of a limited appeal due to the high level of precision on input required. Very true. A lot of people don't like to play 2D fighting games because when you run into someone that's extremely dope, extremely real, you're most likely going to get your ass handed to you pretty quick. Now, a lot of people have been turned off from 2D fighting games for this specific reason in the past, but let's continue on with what he says. But fighting games are more than just inputs. There's a lot of game knowledge and mind games that add to the difficulty, which is very, very true. It's that latter appeal that we want to open up to a broader audience. With simple controls, the barrier of entry is greatly reduced, and players can start with a deeper fighting game experience than they may be used to. This does not mean that we're ignoring core esports oriented audience. We're aiming for a newer type of game that bridges the gap. Now this is some major news right here, because a lot of people who don't think that Dragon Fighters is going to be good are usually the people that don't play 2D fighters and haven't really got into that competitive type of fighting style. So this is definitely going to be something major, because like I said, a lot of people weren't even going to give fighters a chance because they are not 2D fighters. But at the same time, as you read right here, he's trying to bridge the gap. Arc System Works is trying to bridge the gap. So even if you're not an experienced 2D fighter, you can get into the game and eventually develop your skills, because he's saying they're trying to bridge that gap for casual and hardcore esports type players as well. Now let's continue on with this, and he says, though that lens we have made special inputs easier for new players, however it is hard to get the feeling of getting better with something like one button specials. We're actively working on this aspect to get it right. So basically, they're just putting a lot of time and work into this because they know the typical Dragon Ball fan is not into the 2D hardcore fighter, even though back in the day with Budokai and all that, those were 2D games. Those were 2D type of not really hardcore, because the skills and combos really weren't that hard to use, but at the same time, they were more hardcore than games nowadays like Xenoverse. So again, this is some major news right here regarding the fact that they are trying to bridge this gap for us. So those who are saying that, you know, fighters may not be that good due to the fact that they're not used to that type of 2D fighter, they don't really like 2D fighters, please don't just drop the game right there. You still can give this game a chance, especially with the betas coming out. I'm sure more than one beta or demo will come out for us, because of the simple fact that this game is not supposed to release until 2018, and we're getting a demo in fall of 2017. So for all my casual players out there, again, please do not just say that this game is not going to be good, it's not going to be fitting to your type of playstyle that you're used to with a Dragon Ball game or anything like that, because even with the Raging Blast, those were 3D fighters, not 2D hardcore fighters. They were more hardcore, less casual than Xenoverse is, but still a casual game overall. Now again, please do not give up on it. I really feel that this game is going to be absolutely amazing. But that is all the news, all the new news that we got regarding Dragon Fighterz. Again, the website will be linked down below in the description for you guys to check out for yourselves if you want to. But let me know down below what you guys think of the news we got regarding the character roster, the stages, how there'll be special voice inputs for certain characters if you pair them up, and how they're trying to bridge the whole hardcore and casual gamer gap to make it into one game for all type of fighting game, like all gamers that like to play fighting games, whether it be Dragon Ball Xenoverse or games like Injustice 2 that are extremely hardcore as opposed to Xenoverse. Again, let me know down below in the comments what you guys think. I'd love to hear your opinions. But as always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, I'll try and keep you as updated as possible whenever we get some new news regarding this game. Until next time, hope you guys have a good day as always. Peace, y'all.